Hello. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Deb, Wanda, Diane, Fiona, all of you. Okay. You know I made my noodles and mashed potatoes and stuff, but today I've got a lot left over and I have a friend coming over and then my husband's resting, so I'm going to make me some hamburger soup. Bev was talking about it, and then I seen it on another woman's show, and I had never really made hamburger soup. So I'm going to make some because I'm in the mood for hamburger soup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this hamburger be cooking. It's ground chuck, and as you can see, it was 2 pounds. I had it in the freezer, and it was 2 pounds. And I want to show you, while I was asleep, this wonderful, beautiful, sweet man of mine came in and got him a fistful and made him a hamburger. He likes to do that. I don't care. So it's a little less than 2 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and start cooking this. I'm just going to break it up in my induction cooker pan. Okay. Turn it on. So I'm going to break that up in there and just let it be cooking while I'm doing this other, getting all the ingredients ready for it. Okay, you start out by cooking your hamburger in a pot, okay? Now I've got a lot of stuff over here that I'm going to be adding, so I have to do it my way because I can't believe it. I don't have any canned tomatoes. I've got home canned, so I'm going to have to use some home canned. So I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting this stuff up. So basically it's going to be hamburger, ground chuck. I'm going to put my stewed tomatoes in it, but you can put canned tomatoes. That's what it calls for. So I'm going to cut the onion first. I'm just in the mood for hamburger soup, Sometimes you watch somebody make something and then you think, wow, that would be good. And Bev, that watches on here, I love to watch her posts. She's another one that really cooks good for her husband. And then there's Our Silver Moments on YouTube. She doesn't have a lot on there, but what she does, I can watch over and over because she's just got this, I don't know what it is, but I could watch it. So I'm just going to cut these up. Okay, watch with the knife. And I don't want to add dehydrated onions because I just want these to soak in there, okay? Now my sister-in-law went to, starting to feel them onions. My sister-in-law takes the Amish around, drives them places, and she got me 2 cases of chicken broth in the cans for $1.65 a case. Okay, $1.65. And she brought them to me, and I was going to pay her, and she wouldn't let me. But it's got vegetable stock in it. And so I'm going to use 1 can of that. Now, I didn't use it for my noodles. I like real fresh chicken broth that you cook the chicken. I always get a whole chicken and do the broth. Oh, I'm just juicing it up real good on my hands so I can get it in my eyes. Okay. I'm not going to put this in until I get the hamburger done. This is something you don't have to do perfect, just cut them up. Hi Shirley, how are you? Hope you're doing good. My husband really enjoyed his meal last night. He thanked me twice. He's all for that. Just plain old like his mom cooked, you know, the way they did it in the old days. They just got what they had out and they made their noodles and stuff. And he likes to eat like that. Now this, I don't know, you know, if he'll eat it or not. He probably will, but he does like things different. But he likes to go back to the old, well, I'm not putting that in yet. So 2 pounds of ground chuck or hamburger, less 1 fistful, 1 palmful, handful, because my husband got into it. But you use 2 pounds. And if your husband gets into it, just don't say anything about it. He's already eat it. It's already gone. If something's already gone, why carry on about it? It's gone. So he got him a hamburger out of that deal. And I have 4 more pounds up in the freezer, 2 pounds at a time. So I got that done. The onions. Put them in here. I do have a lot of onions, but I want a lot of onions with that hamburger. For some odd reason. But I'm just kind of following what she had in it, what they had in it. And going from there. If I add more or less, that'll be fine. That's what recipes are all about, to make them your own. I just feel like hamburger and onions today. All the rest of the stuff can just float in there with it. Hi Joyce, how are you? I'm good, Shirley. I'm really good. I went out today. I had been without Pepsi. And I'll tell you why. I every once in a while I make myself do without it to drink a lot more water. And I can tell when I'm really thirsty, because I like to keep my legs and body hydrated with water, because there's less pain when you hydrate yourself with water. Because I have very, very, very painful legs. I had blood clots really bad when I had my first child and when I had my last child. I almost died with both of them, the first and the last. And my legs clotted clear up to the groin, both of them. And I was in the hospital for a month with each one. The first one I got out and then went back in. So my legs hasn't been right since. And so I just don't have very good leg motivation. I can get around, and I walked at the college with my granddaughter, but later is when it really affects me. So I don't even know why I got on that situation. But yeah, so that's why I like to do this stuff with y'all and everything. I'm kind of a homebody. So hi Sandy Allen, how are you? How are you doing? Wipe this up a little bit. Always grab whatever napkins I got. My friend got me, I took him some potato soup, and she handed me a sack, and it had these little, I got this one kind of marred up a little bit. It says eat cake, but it's little spongy things, and there was 6 of them in a bag, and I love them. So I really like them to wipe my tables down and all that stuff. This is getting brown, so I need to get to chopping. You're going to put a green pepper in it. Okay? If you don't like green pepper, don't put it in there. Put you a red one, or whatever you like, okay? I'm just going to use every bit of this I can. And I do have dehydrated peppers already and red peppers, but I'm not using them. I'm going to save them for winter. I'll buy these as long as I can. Okay. So anyway, yes, I have to dehydrate my legs and my body, keep them hydrated. So I waited a while, and then I went out and got me a Pepsi this morning. Yes, I am a Pepsi-holic. If I can get one, I'll get it. But I have to make myself do things sometimes. It's called self-control. The Bible talks about self-control. Something I never had for many years. Green pepper. I'm going to put a red pepper in it. You should try this soup, because I'm going to, and I'm going to see just how good it really is. So, Fiona, you know by watching him what it's like then. Because I just get so bad sometimes that I don't let everybody know it, though. When I go teach, I'll stand up there for an hour and a half, 2 hours at church and teach. And I'll walk places with people, and I'll make myself do it. But when I get home, a lot of times my husband has to if he takes his hand and touches my foot, that's all he's got to do. We'll watch TV together, and if I'm hurting real bad, he just, I said, will you just touch my foot? And sorry. He'll just touch my foot, and he will just hold my foot. And it'll just ease down. And I always tell him, you have healing in your hands. Because that's all he has to do is just hold my foot in his hand, and something happens and it just eases down my legs. Now I'm crying, and I got onions in my eyes, and I'm not crying because of that. I just put the onions in my eyes. We can't help them tender moments that we think about when tears come. But it's a very tender moment for me. So that hamburger's done at 2 pounds less 1 fistful. But yeah, I'm very happy and joyful. But sometimes I get to talking about certain things, and it just really touches my heart. And then, you know, when his eye gets to hurting, because he's had 4 surgeries on his eye, and it left him blind in that one eye. You can't tell it because he's got a scleral buckle in there. A scleral buckle is what holds it together. And he can pour a cup of coffee and he'll pour it all over the place because he doesn't have any depth perception. So his eye will get to bother me, and I'll just take and lovingly put some eye drops in it or something, and then I'll put my hand on his head and I'll pray over his eye and head. So it's kind of an eye-foot thing with us, you know, an eye-foot thing. But he acted so grateful to have that chicken and noodles last night. And there's plenty. I made plenty of them. I can't make a little bit. So, thank you, Fiona. You know what it's like, don't you? You know, with that problem, there's just certain things that we can't do. Like we can't walk a marathon. I told my mom last night I was going to take my sister Rita up because she's really athletic. She's never had any children, but she can get around. They go ice fishing and everything. And I told my mom last night, I said, I think I need to take Rita with me and let her walk all the walking and enjoy the things too. And I kind of made a joke about it, but I got to thinking it was probably a good idea. But I really enjoy my time out, you know. And a lot of times my husband will not go places. Because he feels like he is a burden, and he's not. No way. He doesn't like the situation he's in, and it took so much away from him. He used to get in the car and go off and go see his mom when he could drive, and go see his friends and drive to work. And it was all taken away from him. And that's why we try to get him to go places. But he did go on vacation with us 2 years ago. We all got a place down in the Outer Banks. It was very expensive, but everybody chipped in. And we done it as a family because we wasn't sure if we was going to do it again. So now we have another vacation planned for the whole family. And he said he's going to do it, but we're going to have to, with me and him, the kids know that they have to take time. And that's the way I feel when I go with them. The only thing I thought all the time I was with Tommy and Janelle for Adriana. Whew, sorry. I felt like I was slowing everybody down. And I know they respect me, they love me, but I felt it. And they treat me really good. But you feel like that. And I'm sure Nigel feels like he wished he didn't have that problem. I wished I didn't have my problem, but we do. Now we'll put some celery in this. So far we got to come out of this pan, come out of this. We have 2 pounds of ground chuck less a fistful, okay? And I've got this celery my friend brought me when she picked up the soup I made. And her husband really, they liked it. So, Michelle had something on this morning I watched about chicken and like when you're done with your chicken, to use the bones and put your celery and all that in there and make a broth. I have never really done that. And when I seen her say that, I thought, well, maybe I should do that because that would save, you know, you'd have it if you needed it. Probably what I'd do with it is probably can it or something. I don't know. So we'll cut up some celery, okay? If you cut celery at an angle, it's a lot easier. I thought about putting carrots in it, but I didn't. I'm not going to. And I've got celery I wanted to hydrate, but I wanted to make this first, and I want to save some for some more potato soup, because I know we'll be wanting more potato soup. Let me try to read. I'm sorry, Wanda. It's just certain things, you know, just really, it's nothing that I'm sad about, or I don't know how you explain it. Like, I hear people say they got all kinds of problems and they dote on it and they stay with it and you hear it all the time. We're not like that. We try to do the best we can with what we've got. And if I can push myself to enjoy my grandkids, I want to do it. Even though they're grown up and they're like 18 and 19, and I still want to share those moments with them, but you still feel like you're slowing everybody down, even though they say no, you're not. But my daughter-in-law, I said, I felt like I slowed you guys down. I'm really apologize. She said, we had fun. That's all she says. We had fun. And we laughed. And they was going shopping, and we had already rode up all them hours up there, and I just said, I'll stay in my motel. And I did. I just rested my legs, and they went shopping, and we did a few things the next day. Got another trip coming up. I'm pretty sure the 23rd. But I love doing things with the grandkids. I always tell them I have bragging rights. I've got bragging rights. All of our grandchildren was raised like 5 minutes away from us. Just that close. Not on the same ground, but that close. Okay? Thank you, Fiona. So I got all this right here, see? And I'll turn this back up. That hamburger is done. So I got the hamburger in there. And it didn't make hardly any grease. And I'll take and put all the vegetables in there and give it a good stir, like a fry. And then I'm going to start putting my liquids and spices in it. So I'm just going to take the onions and throw them in there. And I'll go ahead and start throwing all these beautiful, beautiful vegetables in there. This is what's going to make it really good. Adding your fresh vegetables and stuff. And I'll probably eat on this soup until it's gone, because I'm in the mood for it. And then see, I've got the noodles and the mashed potatoes and the hot rolls. He'll eat on them. And I know another lady that's coming over, she'll probably eat on them too. But praise the Lord, you know, that we have food we can fix. And you know, I've been down to hardly nothing before. And my daughter, when that MySpace was out, she put on her profile, she said, my mom can take a 5-pound bag of flour and feed the whole county. Because when we lived at the cabin, we had to. Okay. Now, I'll show you this when I get it a good stir. And as you're stirring that, you're going to get all that good meat off the bottom of your pan. There's a big onion, big piece of onion in there. I'm going to leave it in there. Now, see how pretty this is? Look at that. Isn't that a pretty start for a soup? I'll say it again. 2 pounds without 1 fistful. Because my husband, I thought I smelled something cooking the other couple nights. No, it had to be last night. No, yesterday, because I put it in there to thaw out of the freezer. I was going to say it couldn't have been last night because he ate all that stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut a fresh tomato up. I'm keeping the other one because I want to make him a salad to go with that stuff today. So we kind of, you know, he's 18 years older than me, but with the problems I have and the problems that he has, we just kind of complement each other on it. I thought the other day, while I was in the motel, I was sitting there thinking of the times at the cabin. We had it hard, but one thing about it is I can remember getting out of bed and just hopping to it. I didn't have to stiff leg walk for 5 yards. I just hopped up out of bed and started in, and it was in my younger days, and I think about that. So, you know, you miss that. You just wished you could have a couple days where you just don't, you can just hop out of bed and not worry about it. And I used to take care of this woman. Her name was Eileen. I took care of her 7 days a week, and I'd have to go from church, clear it right over to her house, and make lunch after church. I'd make breakfast, go to church, come home, make lunch for her. 7 days a week, and on Sunday, I had to do the other. But I made breakfast and then set her out some lunch, and then I would go to supper on the weekdays. Saturdays, I would just bring her like a sandwich from somewhere, because she liked that. But I can remember when she would get up, like I'd go try to get her out of bed, you know, and she'd get up on the side of her bed and she'd go 2, 3, and then get up. And I thought, I didn't make fun of her, but I'd say, what are you doing? She said, I have to do 3 times to get up. Well, now I know what she's talking about, because I'm older. And I remember she had a little car she wanted me to drive her in. I took her to the doctor, and she always wanted to go out to eat, and then she would we would go somewhere and sit so she could watch the cars and eat. And sometimes I would take her inside to places, because she liked to go certain places like Frisch's or something like that to eat. So anyway, I remember one day she said, in the car was a little Ford Escort wagon. It was real cute, red. And she said, I can't get in this car anymore because of my legs and my back. She had a bad back is what caused her legs. I don't have a bad back. But she couldn't kind of maneuver her way down in that car. So she told me, she said, we need to buy another car that I can ride in. So she bought another car, and it was a Ford. It was a big, one of them big cars, nice running car, smooth. My pastor at the time had it, and he always takes good care of his cars, great care. So if you get a car off of him, it's good. But anyway, she bought another car because her body and back couldn't handle getting in the smaller one. So I mean, we have to make arrangements sometimes for different things. So this is all cooking, kind of getting cooked in there. Look how pretty. This is hamburger soup. Turn it up a little bit. Now, I'm not going to cook them down because I'm going to be letting them cook. Okay? So we want to put some... Okay, let me get a smaller spoon. Smaller spoon. Because I'm going to put some tomato paste in it. I probably could put the tomato powder, but I haven't really looked to see how. Make sure I got that Tupperware. If you don't have that part, you're not going to get the other part done. I like this because it's left-handed and right-handed, and I'm left-handed. It doesn't look like it because of the camera, but I'm... There's, hear that? So it's ready. Get my little pliers here and take that right off of there. Keeps me from getting cut because it doesn't get sharp. Okay, so I'm going to put some of this in, okay? And this is my little Nestle Quick bunny. I got the cup to it too. So we're gonna, I'm just gonna go ahead and put all this in because it's a can. That's why I got the tomato powder, because you can make tomato paste. But since I got this out, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in there. I'll just add more liquid if I have to. So I'm gonna stir that around in there. So I'll take and stir that around in there. See, the onions are getting translucent a bit. So I'm going to stir that tomato paste in there. Gives it a good taste, according to the lady that made it. Okay, first time for me, but I know tomato paste makes everything good. Okay, now I'm going to put some Italian seasoning in it. We're supposed to put in about a tablespoon or more. And then I'm going to put some garlic salt. Okay, garlic salt. Well, come out of there. Probably a tablespoon and a half of garlic salt. I was going to do a garlic. I bought some garlic, but I'll just put that in there. Okay, and then I'm going to put some oregano. I know it's in the Italian seasoning, but I'm going to put some extra, just oregano in that. Okay, I'm going to give that a stir. It's starting to smell delicious. I could almost eat that over some rice, some brown rice. So there we are right now. It's really cooking up good. Okay. Now, I want to put some of this in there. This is my home. Hear that air thing? Still good. My stewed tomatoes that I canned. So I really love these too. I wish I'd have canned a lot more of them. So that's going to be my tomatoes. She put a can, a big can of tomato, 2 big cans of tomatoes. So I don't know about that yet. I might put some more in. But I am going to put some tomato sauce, canned, store canned, factory canned, whatever you call it. Hi, Polly. Hi, Cindy. Thanks, Trish. It does look good, doesn't it? I know I'm going to like it. I know I'm going to like it. I had a woman buy 3 or 4 of these things, these can openers for her family for Christmas when I done a party one time. She was so impressed that you can use it and not have sharp edges. Doo-doo. What's up there? It's just about 1/4 a teaspoon, but it's still okay. I'm gonna put some tomato sauce in it. Okay, and I'll probably end up putting another thing of tomatoes. In here, I saved these McDonald's napkins. They give you a ton of them. I save them for when I need them, you know, just to do something with. Okay, so we got that going now. Yep, got it going. I still got that on a higher temperature. You're wondering why I'm going like this, because the back of my neck. I woke myself up snoring. I must have really been in a deep sleep. Yeah, it is, Fiona, it is. I mean, it's really a good one. I bought one because it took me a minute to figure it out, but once I figured it out, it was fine. I'm talking only about a minute, you know. Okay, so this is the chicken broth with roasted vegetables that my sister-in-law got a whole case of for $1.65 at an Amish restaurant up north. I'm going to shake that up, and I'm going to put that in there. Because the lady said you're supposed to put, let me turn that down, regular chicken broth, but since this has already got roasted vegetables in it, it's not going to hurt it. I felt that give. And I'll take some of that homemade bread and dip. He'll be dipping his in noodles probably, and I'll be dipping mine in hamburger soup. There we go. I think that's all we'll need is 1 can of that. So we're starting to get a yum yum going. I don't know if I want any more broth in that or not. It just looks so good. Here we go. It looks good. And I'll have to let it cook so the vegetables can... I'll just give it a slow cook. I'll put the lid on. And then if I want to add liquid, I can, because it's already got everything in it it needs in it. But in order to get these spices to flavor, I'm going to have to give it a slow cook. So I'll put a bowl of it online. Got big messes here. And let you see it. I just gotta give it a little taste though. It's not going to taste like it does when it's done, but she said when it's done it's really good. And she cans the rest of hers. So there's a little spoonful of it. Right now it's crunchy. I told Jim little Jack Russells are like little boys, little kids. Fiona, I bet you're really enjoying him. He's so cute. It's funny, our little pup, she's 11 years old. She'll sit there at the door. She wants us to take her out all the time. She'll sit there at the door and look at us, and he got upset with her last night. He said, let me turn the TV up so I won't hear and I looked at him, I thought, are you aggravated? So she got up on my lap, and all the time she sat on my lap, she stared at him. And I said, hey, Daddy, because I call him Daddy to her. I said, hey, Daddy, look over here. I said, she stared at you for 20 minutes now, and you even haven't even looked her way, but she's... And I petted her. I said, did Daddy yell at you? It's okay, honey. He'll be all right. And he looked over at her, and he started laughing. And then she got down because he paid attention to her. He said, well, you're sitting on Mommy's lap. Come and sit on mine. So I think he felt bad for yelling at her. I think I'll put a little more chicken broth in that, because she had a big thing of it. Oh, let me get my legs moving here. She is a very sophisticated dog. She's got Maltese and oh, what's the other? I can't think of it. But anyway, her eyes are big and round. And she lets you know. All she's got to do is look at me, and I know what she wants. And she looks at him, and he knows what she wants. The other night, she just kept whining and whining. And we couldn't get her to... Well, I didn't get... Yeah, I did. Excuse me. Anyway... She kept whining and whining, and he couldn't figure out. I couldn't figure out, and I said, I know what she wants. She wants some of that stick cheese, that mozzarella cheese. They love it. Dogs do. And it doesn't hurt her at all. She's ate it for years, and it doesn't hurt her, and the vet told me I could have it, give it to her. And so that's her treat, is the cheese, and she hadn't had a treat. Her other treat is McDonald's cheeseburgers. I know that's a bad thing. They tell you not to give your dogs that. But by golly, my husband, whenever we get out of church, he goes through and gets her a $1 cheeseburger, and she eats the cheeseburger but not the bread. They say not to do it. But I took her to the vet, and they said she has really good teeth, and she was really a healthy dog. Imagine that. That's when you get older, is when that stuff attacks you. Okay. I'm going to put another one of these in there to give it a little more, because the lady that made it put a big, like a quart, or yeah, a quart of chicken in it, and this looks about right now. So right here, I'll show you. Well, I'll just bring you and show you what it looks like. How's that? Stop trying to do everything the other way. There we go. I forgot I always show you guys this. So we got our Italian seasonings in there, and the hamburgers really broke up there, or the ground chuck. So it's all through there. You know, you could even throw some macaroni in that. And you know what I'll do? I'll eat some soup out of it, and then I might throw a little bit of spaghetti or macaroni in it and have me some vegetable spaghetti or macaroni. My friend's husband used to do that all the time. She worked at Austin Powder, and he'd make something like this, and then he'd start adding stuff to it every night. Hi, Barbara. How are you? Yeah, Fiona, them puppies are like, I cannot yell at Cupcake. I can't do it. As bad as I try, I cannot yell at her because she is like a, I'll put me in the other room now. Here we go. She's like a kid to me. And it's almost like she's a grandkid, you know. And she'll do, well, really, you know, she never aggravates me. But if she does do something that aggravates him, I can't yell at her. She looks at me, and it's that look. And I always knew that when your children were little, or your grandchildren or whatever, whenever you get aggravate them, you should look them in the eye. Have them come over and look you in the eye if you're going to yell at them. Because chances are you don't have the heart to do it. You just tell them what you need to tell them, and you don't scream at them. So I have always learned to look them right in the eye when I got something to say, so I can say it a little loving, more loving, okay? Yeah, it is, Teresa. It's kind of like chili, but it doesn't have any beans in it. It's just got the vegetables. And that's another thing you could add. You know, if you eat a bowl of this, and then you can put some beans in it the next day, and spaghetti the next day, and add to it. So it's a good base, I guess, a good base soup. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to eat some. I can't wait to dip that homemade bread I did down in it and just sup it, you know, like that. He is. Yeah, you'll melt, Fiona. You'll melt. My oldest son, they had a lab, and her name was Glitter. She was brown, a brown lab, and she kept eating. She would chew up all the Barbie dolls and all that because she was young. So they got her some chew toys, and that's what calmed her down. And he'd go on vacation, and I would watch his dogs, or dog, whatever he had. He's got 2 now. Not labs, but Yorkies. And I would go over there and sit on their couch. No, I'd get on the couch, slide down to the floor, and that dog would sit across my lap like a baby. And when he came up to me, he could knock me over. He's a pretty big lab, but she was still like a pup, but she was big. And them eyes, it doesn't matter how big or little they are, them eyes will get you every time. Hello, Connie. I'm glad to see you on here. So their eyes will get you every time if you have a pup or a dog. And if you're going to, look at them in the eye. They'll look you in the eye. Believe me. So we never, yell at her or anything because she's just like a part of our family now. She belongs to my daughter, but she belongs to his dad now. He won't let her go. So this is looking pretty good. Let me see if I can find something to put some in to show you. I know it's not done. The hamburger's done, but I know the other stuff is not done. So I'm gonna put the lid on that and let it cook down them vegetables. So you know you can can this and use it as a, she canned it, okay? She had a little bit more meat than I did. We'll say it again. There's a fistful gone because my husband made him a hamburger while I was asleep. I told on him. But anyway, use this as a base. You can can it. Who says you can't can all winter? You can when stuff go on sale. So this is a good soup and a good base, and I'm glad that Our Silver Moments, the lady on there, she did write me back, and I'm glad that she made that on there so I could see it, and I will probably can some when I talk someone into getting me a Nesco pressure canner. I've got to wait. I can't do it right this minute. So someone is the guy that got in the hamburger. And then Bev Boswell, she said something. She was going to make some hamburger soup. I'm going to eat a piece of that big onion there. Okay? Good. That red pepper really does something to it. Now see, I could eat it like this with the crunch, because the hamburger was already done. But I could eat it with the crunch in the peppers. Hi Connie, making hamburger soup. So this is basically what some of the soup looks like. It's delicious, I'll tell you that. I thank the two ladies that made this and got it on my mind, so I went to the store just to get fresh peppers to make it. Yeah, this is something you just want to sit and eat around on. Connie, this is delicious. You guys, you ladies, this is delicious. I love anything with peppers and onions and all that goop in it. It's got a crunch still. So the wonderful lady and Bev, too, which is wonderful. The other lady is on Our Silver Moments on YouTube. Our Silver Moments. Thank you. If you see this, thank you. Because this soup is delicious. It is very good. Try it, Fiona, sometime. Try it, ladies. It's really good. Hi, Vicki. How are you? You made any cakes lately? I do, Patricia, I do make vegetable soup with the ground chuck in it, or hamburger. That's the way my mother-in-law taught me to make it. This is sort of like that, you know. But it's just got these vegetables and the spices that she said to put in it, and the chicken broth. It's just a little different, but it's really good. But I make the actually, I have some vegetable soup canned with the hamburger in it, the ground chuck. This year I canned it. I probably got it on one of my videos if you want to see it. I did 7. I done 7 jars only. That was just, I done 7 jars of the ground chuck canned vegetable soup, just in case we was in a hurry or something and we just, you know, needed something real quick. And I wanted to tell you guys, yesterday when I was making that I made the whole chicken in the broth. Well, I have to wear these hose. There's like Ted hose, you know, that they're hard to put on. Let's just put it that way. And I had them on yesterday, and dummy me, took 1 fork and tried to get that whole chicken out of that hot broth. And that chicken fell back down in there, and that flew out and went right down on one of my left foot. And I couldn't get my hose off because it burnt my foot. It didn't burn me real bad, but it burnt. I told my husband, I said, these hoses, the only thing about it, when you put something hot on them, you can't get them off in time. Now see, this is thickening up just a little bit. I'll show you. Because I had the lid on. So see how that's cooking up? It really looks good. So Patricia, you might try the celery and peppers and stuff like that. It's kind of like that soup, you know, but it's got a little bit different flavor because it's got all this other spices in it. In which, you know, I may start putting that kind of spices in my vegetable soup. So I'll get off of here and I'll eat this. And I won't eat it in front of you. So, corned beef? I never heard of that. Pam? I love corned beef. Did she put the canned corned beef in it? Or the regular? Yeah, Teresa, you just gotta make, you know y'all won't make this. You gotta make some. Now I've got this made. I've got noodles and bread and potatoes. So now I've got enough made where we can just go to, and I won't have to worry about taking all day like I did yesterday to get things cooked. For some reason I was in slow motion yesterday. Here you go, Fiona. There you go. Well, is it canned? I got canned corned beef. Vegetable soup with canned corned beef. Okay, I need to get me some. Yeah, that would be good, Pam, because you got that cabbage in there. I always put a whole head of cabbage in my soup. So I'll try that. I've never tried that. Now you got me on another soup. It's getting winter time, so I'm going to write that down. Will you please message me the ingredients that your mom used? Was it good, Fiona? This is very, very good. It's very good. I'm going to eat this, and I'm going to drink some of this Pepsi. I'll be drinking on this Pepsi all day. I just sip it. I went and got me one last night, and it was diet. And I just told somebody right before that online, I don't like diet. I brought it home, then I tried to put some of my liquid raw sugar in it, and it made it worse. So I didn't get it. I didn't get to drink it. Hi, Janice. How are you? You'll have to play replay. There you go, Janice. Are you going to can it? Good. I'm glad you agree with me, Fiona. It's too hot. It's too hot. Anyway, I got to get off of here, ladies, and I love you all. And so now you're probably excited, Janice. You made some really good stuff. I watched on your what all you made and canned and stuff. So I bet you're excited about being home so you can make that soup. You might ask Pam Lewis about her mom's recipe on the corned beef. I never heard tell of corned beef being put into vegetable soup, but I love corned beef, so, and I got me some of it too when I went to the store. So anyway, God bless you all. I love you, and it's good spending time with you. If I cried, it was because of my heart. My heart's tender in certain areas. Have fun with your puppy, Diesel. I think his name's Diesel. Give him a big, my dog likes her ears all fluffed up. So, hugs and loves. God bless you.